Okay.
You ready?
Okay, my tape is on.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Sunshine Law. Notice of time, date, and place has been furnished to the Bergen Record and the Ridgewood News. Notice has also been posted on the bulletin board of the Administration Building. Would the clerk kindly read the roll? Take the roll.
Mayor Giordano.
Here.
Mr. Brennick.
Here.
Mr. Martinello.
Here.
Mr. Raimondo.
Here.
Mr. Ritchie.
Here.
Mrs. Weber.
Here.
Everyone kindly rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag Let us have a moment of silence for all our Waldeck veterans and all veterans across our country who have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we could be free and live a free life and assemble the way we are tonight. The clerk, please do the prayer.
We thank you for everyone gathered here now. Thank you that you know us, each of us by name, and have caused us to walk with you. We say that we are dependent on you, and our trust is in you completely. As we surrender ourselves in your adoration, we ask that you would come by your Holy Spirit and inspire our hearts today. Come fill our lives with your love, fill our conversations with your grace and truth, fill this meeting with your presence. We ask this for your glory and praise. Amen.
Amen. Good evening, everyone. Just a couple of items under my report. Last Saturday, I attended our mayor's annual meeting, at which time all the mayors talked about their budgets and how their process was and how they achieved what they had to achieve. Waldeck looks very good. We're a role model for everybody, which is good. A lot of towns did the same thing we did. A lot of towns have issues, but at the end of the day, everybody is working everything out for the betterment of the community. Also, Monday, which was yesterday, I had a 5K meeting for the 5K that's going to be on May 5th. Very interesting meeting. If you ever sat at a meeting with Stan Kowalski, you would know it's very interesting. And they are a week away almost, and they're doing very well. He would like everyone to come out and support him and support the 5K. It's supposed to be a very good run this year. The theme is Cinco de Mayo. It's on May 5th. So they have over 400 and something runners already, and a couple of, I think 100 maybe walkers. So they're doing very well. And as I said, they're asking you to kindly come out and show your support. We've had a couple of residents give us calls about certain items and concerns they have in our community. As I always do, I forward everything over to our administrator, Steve, and what he does is he follows up on the call. But before I do send it to him, I send an email out to each person telling them that we will look into it and our administrator will get back to you as soon as he has some information that he could share with you. So if you ever have any issues and you send it to me, Steve gets it, and you'll get a phone call from us. We've had some concerns about people with deer. The mayor's had a meeting about this. There is no support from the county, and there's no support from our elected officials about this. So theoretically, each town is on their own. We try to merge the towns together to work something out, but unfortunately it didn't work. So Steve and I and Kelly talked a little bit this evening about this, and we're going to try to see if we could have some type of a game plan or some type of statement so that anybody who called me and asked me, they will find out. If you call me and ask me a question and you then tell me, I don't want you to call me back, I want an email from you, you will not get an email from me. You'll get a phone call. I'm very cautious and very leery about what I say. I've got hurt a couple of times, and after 12 years, you learn to be very careful. Not that everyone does it, but we have to be careful in this day and age. That's all I have to report. Financial Administrative Committee, Mr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor. No reports this evening.
Thank you very much. Fire and Police Protection Committee, Mr. Brennick.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick report. In January, we had 20 calls that we responded to. In February, we had 15. March, 29. And so far this month, we've had 6. We've had 4 gas heat-related incidents, 1 activated fire alarm, and 1 motor vehicle PIN. We've also had three new members that completed firefighter 1 successfully. And that's my report this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Public Safety Committee, Ms. Sarah Kohler is cannot attend tonight, but she did send me a report to read about. The ambulance corps will be covering the baseball parade this Saturday, as well as the 5K race on May 5th. Allendale, Ohokis, and Midland Park EMSs will also be assisting at the 5K. So far for the month of April, there were 33 runs, with 24% of the runs on Saturdays. The large majority, 12 of the runs, were falls. For 27 of the 33 runs, a unit arrived on scene in under 5 minutes. A new ADA compliant suite called Assessing B was added to the new borough website this month. This allows users to make various accessibility adjustments based on their needs so that they can have much better user experience while interacting on our website. You can adjust things like the font size, the use of a screen reader, adjust the brightness, contrast, mute sounds, stop animations, and more. She is very happy this is done. If anybody has any concerns about our new website and you have any ideas that maybe could help us, Steve is very open to any comments, and he'll take anybody's phone call so that you could tell him what you think might be able to help them in reading going on our website. That's all that we have for Public Safety Committee. Recreation and Health Committee, Mr. Martinello.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week we attended the Board of Health meeting, for the quarterly meeting. They reported that a lot of the COVID cases are on a low status in the community and in New Jersey overall. We also announced that they're looking into doing a walking program, which will be a great opportunity for the community to get together and walk around different areas of the town, maybe into the park or around different neighborhoods, and it's going to be the mayor's challenge. He's very happy about that. They also completed audits of all the schools in terms of their vaccination records, and everything is up to date there. They completed various inspections for new establishments here in town, doing a great work with keeping up with those inspections. On the recreation front, I want to remind everyone that registration for the pool is open. Make sure you get your early bird discounts, getting those in as early as possible. On the baseball front, as the mayor alluded to, we have our opening day parade. For the first time in many years, the kids will be walking from Waldwick High School down to Borough Park. We have the police and ambulance corps going to be out to support, and they're looking forward to it. The boys and girls have all made signs for their teams to walk with, and we also have a record number of kids signed up this year, over 430 kids with about 100 volunteers. So most numbers we've had in Waldwick baseball in probably 20 years. So very good there. Waldwick Recreation Soccer has opened their registration for the fall. You can visit their website for more details there, as well as the travel organization is still holding tryouts for fall teams. So encourage all the residents to come out for the baseball opening day. The kids would love to wave at people as they walk down the street, and look forward to a great event. That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
And I want to thank you, Mr. Martinello, for forcing me to do this walk. My wife is on the Recreation and Health Committee for the borough, because she works in the nursing field, assisted living, and she came home Thursday night after the meeting, and I'm told that they're going to bring a scale in here, they're going to weigh me, and they're going to see before and after. Not only that, my wife threw out all my candy and my cookies, so I have nothing in the house. So my wife said to thank you, Joe, for this.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. What? She brought it up. But he didn't say nothing against it. Good friend, huh?
Oh, sorry.
That's right, you were there. Another one, thank you. Public Works Committee, Mr. Raimondo.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. As you know, we've had several cones placed on East Prospect Ave. The DPW and the Water Department will be looking at water boxes for lead. They're hoping that they don't have to penetrate the roadway, and everything will be done from the curb side in. They also had a leak on Salrite that was rectified last Saturday with regards to finally fixing that leak, leaking water valve. What else we got? I have an inquiry out to Mike for some information from the DPW, but he was on vacation, so I'm still waiting for that, and then I'll probably report on that at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds Committee, Ms. Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We started doing the paving work over on Hudson and Bonnert over the next few weeks. It started, so you'll be some piles of dirt over there, I saw. But that'll be done soon. They're working on that. The wall vac, we need a new HVAC system in there, so the vendor's been selected, and the work will start over there in the next few weeks. In regards to the charging stations, PS has hooked them up. We're just, the electrician has to come back to charge them up so that they can be used. The town pool has been cleaned, and they will be doing some painting over there. I went to the library board meeting last week, and they're going to be starting some bathroom renovations in the next few weeks over there. They've also started a new program. They're working out the bugs on it, so it hasn't gone live yet, but it's called the Library of Things, where you'll be able to borrow small appliances. I believe a leaf blower is one of the items, an electric leaf blower, but things like that. But that'll be accessible only to residents. And then also, I don't know if anybody's noticed it, but the pine tree in front of the library died, and it was removed. I know the mayor is working on a replacement for that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Borough Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll save my comments for other items.
Thank you. Borough Clerk, Kelly.
I have nothing tonight, Mayor, but we need to go back to do the public hearing on the submission of the 2024 Bergen County Trust Fund municipal grant
Okay.
for park development.
Let's do the attorney, and then we'll go back to that.
I have no report.
You have no report. Thanks so much. Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one report. We're still conducting our due diligence on 197 Wyckoff. We're almost complete. We should still be on time to hopefully close on the property by the end of May. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank
Are we
you.
going to close tonight?
No items for closed.
Okay. Kelly, would you like to take over with the public hearing?
Sure. Steve and I will do this one.
You got it.
So this is the public hearing on the submission of the 2024 Bergen County Trust Fund Municipal Program for Park Development Funding application for the Lions Club Memorial Playground at Borough Park, Block 154, Lot 34, 217 Pine Street, Waldwick, New Jersey. Steve's going to make some comments about what this project is, which is really a continuation of the last one, but if you want to go into a little more detail, then we're going to open it up to any council members who may want to comment, and then we'll open it to the public to make any comments they would like to on this application.
Thank you. So yeah, this is a pretty simple application. It actually mimics the 2023 application exactly. It's really just for playground equipment, ADA upgrades, general maintenance, a new surface, which we're looking to do that rubber surface to replace the mulch, which will make it more accessible and ADA compliant. So this is really, we're hoping to pair this with last year's and increase the amount of grant money that we could dedicate towards this. If we are able to do that, we also applied for a local recreation improvement grant in conjunction with this. So with the two combined, we're looking at about I think somewhere in the range of $320,000 in grant money, which would be fantastic. The total cost we have right now is around $550,000 all in. So, we'd be looking at about maybe $250,000 out of pocket for next year's capital budget.
Did we reach out to the Access for All about this too? So asking them what some of their input?
We will, yeah. So probably next meeting, actually, we'll probably have the award to begin the design and engineering, and at that point, we'll engage WAFA and other committees.
Okay. Anybody else from the council? If not, anybody from the public would like to comment? If not,
Close the public.
I close the public's comments.
And then I need a motion and a
We have
second.
a motion and a second to accept this.
For
Motion by-
resolu-
For this
Resolution 2024-129, endorsement of the submission of the Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund grant application for park development at the Lions Club Memorial Playground at Borough Park.
We have a motion by Mark, second by Andy. Anyone have a question? Would you like to do that? Would the
And-
clerk take the roll?
Mr. Brennick,
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Ramundo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Thank you.
There's a future for you here. Okay, consent resolutions and resolutions of the governing body.
Be it resolved that the following resolutions herewith listed by consent, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Waldeck, are hereby passed and approved. 2024-130, approval of consent. 2024-131, approval of minutes, regular meeting, April 9, 2024. Policy votes. A, VFW Post 1049 would like to request to clean up Borough Park and Veterans Park on Saturday, May 4th from 9 to 11 as part of National VFW Day of Service. B, Donna Palladino and the Italian American Social Club of Waldwick request to use Pavilion A on June 9th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a bocce ball tournament with alcoholic beverages being served. C, the Waldwick Public Library requests to install a story walk along the walking paths in Borough Park with the exact locations to be determined once grant is received. D, Christopher Gilmore requests to use Pavilion A on July 14th from 11 to 5 for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. 2024-132, amendment to Resolution Number 2022-353 to authorize the execution of a grant agreement with the Bergen County Community Development Block Grant for Bonner Place Sidewalk and Street Improvements. 2024-133, award a fair and open contract to DLS Contracting for improvements to Harrison Avenue in the amount of $100,247.85. 2024-134, award a non-fair and open professional services contract to DRG Architects for roofing and HVAC replacement at the Waldeck Police Firing Range in the amount of $48,960. 2024-135, appointment of a full-time telecommunications officer, Christian James Gormley. And 2024-136, appointment of a per diem telecommunications officer, Matthew Christopher Hillman. 2024-137, release of vacant property escrow for 41-2 Tamron, Block 163.16, Lot 2241.2, excuse me, and 2024-138, payment of vouchers.
Have a motion and a second. Motion by Joe, second by Andy. On the question. First of all, number policy vote A.
Yep.
What that is doing is we are having a Waldwick cleanup day. They are going to be part of our cleanup day, so really, we don't really have to have a policy vote with that, but we're just going to let it go because we're all going to be working together for the cleanup day. Also, 2024-132. What this is doing is we're swapping out Patrick Weary as our administrator's name on everything to Stephen Neal's name, who's now our administrator. Also, 2024-133, what that is that we awarded the bid for the Harrison Avenue project. It is fully funded by CDBG, and 7 bids came in. And that's all I have. Anybody else? Clerk, take the roll.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Ramundo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Okay. We have public hearing, 2 of them. Clerk, kindly read ordinance number 2024-15.
Ordinance number 2024-15, an ordinance continuing the municipal open space, recreation, farmland, and historic preservation trust fund in the amount of, what is it? Half a cent per $100 of assessed value until changed. Sorry.
Anyone from the council would like to comment on this
Too low.
ordinance that was just read?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the open space trust fund that the borough has been collecting since 2004. This is just to continue it on the books.
Anyone else? If not, I close the public's comments, and, I'm sorry, the council's comments. Anybody from the public would like to comment on this ordinance that was just read? If not, I close the public's comments and ask for a motion and a second to pass this ordinance on second reading and that the clerk be authorized to advertise it in local legal newspapers as required by law. Motion a second. Motion by Mark, second by Michelle. Clerk, take the roll.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Ramundo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance number 2024-16.
Ordinance number 2024-16, an ordinance to amend Chapter 32 Animals to add Article 6 Pet Shops of the revised ordinances of the Borough of Waldeck to prohibit the sale of dogs and cats by retail pet stores in Waldwick.
Anybody from the council would like to comment on this ordinance that was just read?
I'll speak on, this is an ordinance to ban what has become known as like puppy mills and that in the borough. There's proposed state legislation. This mirrors the state legislation, but instead of waiting for Trenton to act, the borough is being proactive in getting this on the books before, because who knows how long it'll take in Trenton.
And Councilwoman Sarah Cole is very active with this. She's a puppy and a dog person, and she wanted this to be done right away so that we could protect our little four-legged creature. Anyone else? I close the public's comment, the council's comments, and ask anybody from the public would like to comment on this ordinance that was just read.
This is the question about a couple people in town that do rescues. Does that have anything to do with rescue cats and dogs? I
No.
mean, there's 15, 20, 30 dogs, cats, anything to do with that? Because they sell them, excuse me.
That's the whole point of the ordinance, is so that people purchase them from rescues and shelters as opposed to a pet store.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I close the public's comments and ask for a motion and a second to pass this ordinance on second reading and that the clerk be authorized to advertise in local legal newspapers as required by law. Motion and a second. Motion by Joe, second by Mike. Clerk, take the roll.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
We have two introduction of ordinances. Will the clerk kindly read ordinance number 2024-17?
Ordinance number 2024-17, an ordinance amending Chapter 48 fees, Section 82-4A, dumpster container permit escrow required, and 82-8 dumpster container permit fee of the revised ordinances of the Borough of Waldwick.
A motion and a second is in order to move and pass this ordinance on first reading and that it be advertised in local legal newspapers as required by law, setting a public hearing 2 weeks from tonight's meeting as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached. Do I have a motion and a second? Motion by Mike, second by Joe. Anyone on the question with this?
Is this just to change the fee structure?
There's no change in the fees. This is really just to clean up the language.
Okay.
And the only real change in this one is the fact that you always consider these escrows at the council meetings, but it's never been on the books. So we kind of wanted to just kind of clean it up. None of the escrows have changed.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Clerk, take the roll.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Clerk, kindly read ordinance number 2024-18.
Ordinance number 2024-18, an ordinance amending Chapter 82, Streets and Sidewalk Use of the revised ordinances of the Borough of Waldwick in its entirety.
Motion and a second is in order to move and pass this ordinance on first reading and that it be advertised in local legal newspapers as required by law, setting a public hearing 2 weeks from tonight's time or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached. Do I have a motion and a second? Motion by Mark, second by Mike. Anyone on the question with this? What this is,
Okay.
I'll start, then you can help out.
No, go ahead.
What this is doing is that a lot of times, a lot of people have building materials they put in front of their house for the garbage to be picked up, and it's hard for DPW or anybody to pick it up, concrete and all that stuff. So what we're saying is that you could leave your garbage outside in the street to be picked up, but this other stuff, you have to get a dumpster, and you have to have that stuff all put in the dumpster, and there are fees for this, and the dumpsters will stay there for 3 months, and you could do all this stuff. Did I do it right?
Well, basically, yes, but it prohibits anything but the dumpsters to be on the
Right.
street. And you have to get a permit to do that. And that's really what this kind of, again, cleans up the language of things that we've been doing. But it really did say that people could leave whatever they wanted to out there. And so that cleans that up. And it also, you can't have any dumpsters or containers on the streets from December 1st through April 1st for obvious reasons, snow removal. So that's all that it
Right.
does.
It's just cleaning up all the stuff we have. Anyone else? Clerk, take the roll.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Mr. Martinello?
Yes.
Mr. Raimondo?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody from the council have any unfinished business? Anybody from the council have new business? Sir?
I'd just like to remind everyone that this weekend is the town-wide garage sale for all the residents in town. Hopefully, people can go around and support each other's neighbors and get rid of their unwanted items and make it a successful day for the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Environmental Committee met last Thursday. We had a member of the public bring up a good point regarding the public safety building. why the cardboard is not contained and picked up by GATA. You know, we hold the residents to the same standard. We should also hold by that for ourselves. Do we have a container for it, or can we get a container for it so that at least it's picked up by GATA, or does GATA pick it up from the public safety building?
Yeah, we're actually going to be reaching out to them on
Okay.
something else, so we'll add that to it.
We'll include that
Okay.
on our visit.
Okay. EPS collection was successful. We filled 3/4 of a 40-yard dumpster. Want to thank everyone that came out. It was Joe's first try at doing this, so he did a good job.
Should we keep them?
Yeah, we can keep them.
Okay.
There was a question regarding the tree ordinance in town, if the environmental committee needs to help. One of the suggestions that they mentioned, that if we put some logic and writing in there saying that it has to be trees that are from New Jersey, so that they're not evasive trees when people replace them, if that could be added. I don't know if that's part of the actual.
Yeah, so, and actually met with the arborist on Monday afternoon. Should have a
Okay.
draft out to all of
Okay.
you and the environmental committee. But what we decided to do is the NJ Tree Federation every year releases an updated list of suggested plantings. They're all native to New Jersey, ones that'll do well and survive here. So we kind of have it, instead of actually having a list that we'll have to update all the time, we just refer to their list that they update all the time.
Perfect. Last item was regarding Bergen County Hub met to discuss flooding on the Saddle River. I guess Ridgewood was the one that drove this meeting 2 weeks ago. I guess they're the ones that are affected the most because they are further downstream from the Saddle River. And as everyone feeds into it, it becomes a bigger and bigger problem. The ask is there any way that we as a council or mayor can bring it up at some type of meeting to bring all the other mayors in line? Some of the suggestions were, a rain garden like we put in our property as suggestions for people so that we can mitigate all that extra water going down the river. Because as we know, as it goes further down the river, it gets worse. So somebody down in Lodi gets hit the hardest. Ridgewood is probably the closest to us. And one of the other questions that came up with regards to a lot of dialogue's been going on in Rockland regarding the dumping of the overfill of a sewer plant up that way, how that's potentially affecting the river, and since the river does come through our town, if we've seen any spikes or anything with regards to contaminants, as just an ask. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
If you send me an email requesting what you are asking of the mayor at my next meeting in May, we can bring it up on the new business.
Okay,
Right.
I will.
All right,
I'll
thank
have
you.
them draft the letter.
Or just, bullet points, so.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel
Yep.
that they need to know.
Oh, trust me, they have a list.
Oh, good. Anyone else from the council? If not, anyone from the public would like to comment on anything, please come to the podium and state your name, please.
Eric Laporte. Since the last meeting, we talked about the sewer authority. There was 22 trucks came through before, 4 of them before 6 o'clock, the rest before 7. And, we don't bust their chops like 6:45 or so. But on a Saturday, the street just lined up completely for a half hour. Just diesel going crazy, and the smell. Odor's starting again big time because of the weather. Have done what you guys have asked for the police. I do get your dispatcher and the sergeant on call twice. The dispatcher had no clue who the sergeant on call was. So, and I know, like I said, I could see from my house, and my neighbor was right, the first one going down the lane. When we call, none of the officers go down to check at all. I don't know what we could do.
Number one.
That's one thing.
number one, find out why the officer did not know who is on duty.
Why, I'm not gonna throw anybody on the
Well,
bus.
you just asked us to
The
do something, so we are.
And, the
And-
dispatcher
right.
told me.
And then also, reach out to Danubio again and just tell them, listen, we're supposed to arrange a meeting, you keep on pushing this off, we need to meet. Because idling is gonna have to stop. Because is there any way we could go after the authority? With these trucks, you don't go after the trucks, go after the authority. for the-
Mayor, I think they did it a long time ago, and they fined them like $250, but really, that's nothing for them, in a way, you know?
Yeah, so we have more follow-up. I did reach out to the authority after the last meeting. We're just working on an actual sit-down meeting. We're going back and forth with dates right now. So we will have another sit-down with them. I did also meet with the police to kind of go over their procedures. We have police reports, so.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, they are following up, so I don't know if there's a discrepancy there, so we could talk more on that, and I'd be happy to follow up. But we do have the logged complaints formally addressed by the police department, so we could follow up some more on that.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Mr. Laporta, when you call, do you tell them that they're in violation of the idling?
Yes.
Okay.
First, I said,
Because-
as per, when I come to the meeting, that the council said, do this, do that, and they're just sitting there. I mean, you could, they're pretty big tankers, I'm sure you've seen.
Oh, no. I understand, because, I mean, if
This
they're in
was a-
violation of the idling, then the truck's going to be cited.
Yeah,
It's a state law, and we also have our
Even
own
if it's on
resolution
private
regarding
property,
that.
I don't know.
yes, so it would still hold, but the one issue that came up is when the police get there, they approach the truck goes off. So, and that's,
No,
I'm not defending anything, but that's
No.
the situation that's
Gotcha.
really happening. So it is difficult for them to cite them at that point if they turn the vehicle off.
Well, that's what you have to tell Danubio.
Yeah, so that's really, is there a legal issue there? I don't know, but we'll have to talk with the authority and really they have to really relay the info to the truck driver.
The other thing, Mayor and Council, I don't know if you've seen the car wash on Franklin Turnpike. Saturday, we were coming down from Allendale and going towards Waldwood. Cars in that lane trying to make a left-hand turn into the car wash. And the tractor trailer was coming down. And another car was coming out where the bagel store is there, or Valley. And the thing is, when they put that car wash here, the planning board was specifically, and came here too, there was not supposed to be any parking on Franklin Turnpike to get into that car wash. It's gonna be, I mean, I know I'm crazy, but I don't wanna see an accident anywhere, the sewer authority or there. I mean, if the town can propose to the state, no left turn, coming down where the old Moss, the green building is, the old Moss type building. No left turn into that car wash. Again, I don't want to see anybody hurt. And there was almost an accident the other day when a Cupola truck was coming right out of the sewer authority. I mean, they're big, and, you got to stop for them. And there's going to be, again, the planning board, when they put that through, was supposed to be no parking on Franklin Turnpike.
Could you send Joe there? Because Joe's been there. And he seems there's no problem.
Yeah.
Now there's a problem.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no cars and then there is. And then, yeah.
No, I,
Saturday, it went even past almost
Yes.
a sushi place. I think that's
I live right there, and every Saturday, it's like that. I don't want to disrupt anybody's business, but if it was part of the planning authority and the approval to not have a line there, I thought when it actually first opened, it was supposed to be by appointment only.
yes.
You are correct.
So it's a lot of beautiful cars, don't get me
Yes.
wrong, and it's not like we're bringing the dregs of society into Waldwick for that place. It's bringing in revenue to the town. I want to see everybody's business do well, but it is a very busy road there.
I mean, Steve from Avenue Printing had to put a cone there, and the cleaners had to put a cone so, customers can get in and out. Yeah,
Send Joe there tomorrow.
Yeah, you can look into that.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Eric. Anyone else?
Theodore Sanzo. First of all, in going through some of the videos on previous meetings, I must congratulate the person that made a petition concerning the parking on Alexander and maybe the humming from PSE&G. That, I think, is a very good idea because it does one thing. It improves the communication within the town. People feel as if they have a voice. Second of all, it eliminates somebody coming to any one of you and saying, can you fix this problem? I personally don't like how that happens. I think if you want to have a change in the code, have a petition. I mean,
He
you
had
may
one.
turn around.
He had one.
Excuse me?
He had a petition.
Yeah, I know, I complimented him. Okay, what was I? Okay, it prevents you from having somebody whisper in your ear and something happens and nobody else in the town knows what's going on. All of a sudden, we got an ordinance. I don't know if we have something within the code that allows us, that requires a petition for the change of code. Okay? It's very similar to amendment to the Constitution. Okay? Within the Constitution, you have a procedure on how to amend it. I think it's a good idea to have a similar situation or procedure in changing our code. Okay? And it just clears it up. It's very open to the public, and it sounds great. And just as a side issue on the comic side, you know why Transformers hum? Because they don't know the words. That's 40 years of electricity. Okay. Mr. Bosang, any word yet on the settlement from South Carolina? How much we going to get? That's basically, I don't know if you have the final number yet. You may not. And I realize everybody's got to do their arguing and their asking. Any word?
Can I?
Absolutely.
It's ironic you brought this up. I was on the phone this afternoon, or yesterday afternoon, with our council to ask that exact question. The way they explained to me the numbers are going to be generated is based upon the contaminant level, and that's how it's going to be distributed. So they do not have a number yet to give us.
Okay.
We've asked them for it. We should at least have, I told them I'd like at least an estimate to present to the public, but they're going to work on that. But I am following up with them to try and get this for everybody.
Thank you very much. Also, one other thing concerning the recycling. You know I work at the library, I take the garbage out, and I bring the recyclables down to the recycle center. In putting out the garbage, maybe it was a month ago, whoever's doing the shredded paper from here is dumping it in the garbage. I know it's supposed to go to the recycle center, so that's one other thing that may have to be addressed. Your shredded paper is going in the garbage, not to the dumpster, which is, we're required to bring shredded paper to the dumpster, which I understand. So it's that. And last but not least, I understand about the tree out in front of the library. In your consideration, is just me speaking, because I'm the janitor there, can I not have a flowering tree? Because you got flowering trees along the sidewalk now, and it gets nothing more than tracked all over the library. Okay? So if possible, whatever your choices are, will you please consider something that doesn't drop a lot of...
We were going to put bamboo.
No, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. Well, thank you for listening, and
you.
please have a good evening.
You too. Anyone else? Oh, my Weight Watcher.
Sorry. Bob Rose. I'm concerned about the pool right now. When they refill the pool with water, what water is going into the pool?
That's water right from the main.
We have an issue with water now.
Right from the water.
Now we got people going into the pool. Yeah, we're not supposed to drink it, but it happens. They'll swallow it by it. This happens.
comes
What's the
from-
procedure, what's the procedure going to be on
That water
that?
is treated with chlorine and other
It's treated by
chemicals.
chlorine, doesn't treat for PFAS. If
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're referring to. It is the same water that's into the system.
The chlorine's not going to purify, because they said nothing will clear the water.
All
No,
the
it will not kill PFAS.
So we're going in the pool with the regular water that the
You're
neighbors
taking a
use.
shower.
We shower with it.
And you're taking a shower.
Shower, wash your hands, yeah, same water.
Well, they won't be washing their hands when they go in the pool.
You'll never know.
Number two, the striping along the bridge over Wyckoff Avenue going over the railroad, will that ever be restriped? Because those people are crazy out there. They'll pull out, they won't stay in a single lane, they'll take up both sides. Now, we got 2 lanes of traffic approaching that bridge, and we have 1 car coming out of Harrison Avenue taking up both lanes.
Yeah, so actually, that was part of our request to the county at the end of last year, along with a bunch of their intersections. I want to say about 6 to 8 intersections, which they have agreed to restripe. We did ask for that, the bridge also. They haven't got back to me on that specifically. They're waiting to pass their budget before they could do their road program, their striping program. So I'll follow up with them again and ask about that specifically. It should come along when they do the intersections, but I'll make sure.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mark, second by Andy. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?